Hi guys, welcome to Lynette Looks. Today I'm going to be talking about The One For You by Rachel Hanna. I really did enjoy this book and let me tell you what it's about. Just a brief synopsis without giving you too many spoilers or any spoilers at all, so you will enjoy this just as much as I did. Kyle and Jenna, they were high school sweethearts and they fell in love. They were totally smitten with each other in high school, and they had a barrier. The barrier was Jenna's mom. Jenna's mom is very controlling. To this day, she was controlling when she was dating Kyle. Her mom had a very strong opinion on who she wanted Jenna to be with. She didn't want her daughter to be with anyone that was going to, in her eyes, be somebody that wasn't going to make a ton of money. She wanted to be involved with choosing the one that Jenna was going to be with, and she wanted to steer her towards someone else. She wasn't too fond of Kyle. She wasn't too smitten with him. It wasn't because he wasn't a nice guy, but her mom just was very controlling. She wanted to steer her daughter in another direction, and she won. So Jenna broke up with Kyle due to the fact that her mom kind of pushed her, and she also threatened her. And since she was in high school and didn't have means of her own, she just went along with her mom's advice. And yeah, so they weren't together anymore, although they were madly in love with each other. So that was one of the biggest heartbreaks that Kyle and Jenna went through, was separating, not being together. Lo and behold, they are going to bump into each other. It was a huge shock for Kyle and a huge embarrassment for Jenna due to the situation that she is now in. And I don't know if I should tell you anymore based on that. Anyway, years later, okay, let me just tell you a little bit more. Jenna is married to someone else. Her marriage is in turmoil. She is now living separated from her husband, and she has a daughter. So her and her daughter are together. Her situation is not good, financially. She's struggling. She gets a knock at the door. Can you guess who that person is? And he doesn't know the person on the other end, on the inside of the house, is Jenna, and the story unfolds from there. This book, I'm gonna leave it at that because I want there to be a lot of mystery there. I don't want to give any spoilers other than that. So now they are meeting for the first time again since that breakup. So you can imagine the shock and all of the emotions coming into play here, because the breakup was not something that they both wanted, and they had to go their separate ways. So this meeting again is a total shock, mentally and emotionally, for the both of them. This was a very good beach read. Rachel Hanna did a great job with writing this clean, romantic love story, and I really enjoyed it. This is a book that I would say you could take to the beach, and you could literally, if you're at the beach all day, you can read this in one day. I read this at night before bed. It's a relaxing read. It is enjoyable, although there are ups and downs and twists and turns in the book. It's nothing like too upsetting that would keep you up at night. So it's a very nice book to read right before bed. It was enjoyable all the way through for me, even though I felt that it is a predictable love story. I don't mind it, because what's not predictable is their circumstances, their conversations. It's not predictable in that sense, and I enjoyed their conversations. I enjoyed the trials and tribulations they had to go through. It's a pretty straightforward read. I don't mind that It can be, you know, a predictable love story, but hey, you never know who she's going to, what Jenna is going to do in the end, because she has so many things going on in her life, you know, with her current husband, that is pulling her in emotional turmoil. So you are kind of, you know, wondering what's gonna happen and what secrets are there, because Jenna has a secret that she doesn't want Kyle to know about. So it's a pretty straightforward love story about forgiveness. There's betrayal in this story that you're gonna find out about Jenna, about really what happened, what more happened with them having to separate, what her justification was as to why she let him go. I really enjoy reading a love story where you get to see the vulnerability of the guy. Like, Kyle shows how vulnerable he is when he's around her, because he never quite fully got over that heartbreak. He never quite came to terms with it, because it was such she was the love of his life back then, and he never fully understood like what happened, like how could she have done that. I liked the vulnerability that Rachel Hanna, the author, had him portray in this story. It was very nice. It's very nice to see the man being emotionally open with his feelings and not holding back, really. And he wants to, like, it was such a shock to him seeing her on the other side of the door when she opened it, that he was just like thinking, I have to stay away from this woman. I can't be around this person. Like, she you know, she pushes all of his buttons just about. So it was a page turner. It was a nice page turner, and I do want to continue the series because this is part of a series, and the series is called the January Cove series. It's a 10-book series, I believe, and I'm interested to continue along. It's a feel-good type of romance story that I really did enjoy. I would give this 3.75, just about almost 4 stars, I would say. I did enjoy it. I really do recommend it if you like nice, sweet love stories, a rekindling of romance. Rachel Hanna describes her books as clean romance set in small towns for women. Clean romance, women's fiction set in small towns. And that's something, if you don't like reading love stories with a lot of explicit sexual content or cursing, her stories you will enjoy because they are clean, they are interesting, and like I said, I enjoyed it. She writes feel-good, heartwarming love stories that will leave you with a smile at the end. From her words exactly, that's how she describes her books. So I can't wait to get into more of her stories, more of her series. Another cool story about her: when she was in 3rd grade, she was writing stories and poetry, and her teacher told her that she's going to be a great author one day. And lo and behold, when she gets older, she becomes a well-known author. She thanked her teacher. She always remembered that. So that's something that I feel is so nice, because teachers do make a difference in kids' lives, and you never know, even other people, if you're around a kid and you see that they're really good at something, you know, encourage them. As Rachel Hanna, she said those words that her teacher told her really gave her a boost, and she always remembered that her teacher said she was great at writing and she was going to be a great author one day. And that really stuck with her through all the years. She always remembered her and those encouraging words. I thought that was a beautiful story. Rachel Hanna has sold over 1 million books to date, so that should tell you something about how much people love reading her stories. She was also on the bestsellers list on USA Today and the Wall Street Journal. Another book that I really would like to read of hers is The Bucket List, and I will be reading that. It is on my reading list because in the interview she said that is her favorite book. So I can't wait to read that one. It's her favorite book, so that's going to be a really interesting insight on what she likes in a story, in all of her stories. Like, that's the one that she likes the most. And just in case you're looking for other books as well of hers that you want to read next, if you read The One for Me, The Beach House is her best-selling book. That's the #1 book that people keep buying or going to read and reviewing it really highly. So The Beach House is her best-selling book, and that is also on my list because readers just seem to gravitate and really enjoy having read that book. So it has tons of great reviews, and I can't wait to get started on that as well. There's so many books that are on my list. It's like, which one do I choose next, right? There's like a plethora of so many good authors and so many stories just waiting to have me read. Just waiting to have somebody read them, right? And it's like, I have so many lists of authors and books, and it just goes on and on. So I can't wait to continue, and I wanna definitely get these reviews in more often. I really enjoy this genre of clean, sweet fiction romance novels, and it is very similar to Hallmark movies, but in book format. And I thought, wow, this book can go really great with a Hallmark movie that I've seen, and I really love that one. It's one of my top Hallmark movies that I truly enjoy, and it's called Autumn Dreams. So if you have the Hallmark channel, go ahead and search for Autumn Dreams, or you can even search for it, and I'm sure you can find it on other platforms where they have Hallmark movies that you can readily watch. I'm sure you can probably find it on other streaming services. I subscribe to the Hallmark channel, so it's readily available there, and I really enjoyed it. It has a similar story to The One for Me, where they're high school sweethearts and they actually separated due to parents not wanting them to make such a serious not wanting them to have such a serious relationship so early. And in Autumn Dreams, they're teenagers, and the dad just is like, okay, this has gone too far. And I don't want to give away anything else, but it's really good. It is really good. They had to separate due to the dad in the story. And the two main characters are Ben and Annie, and they're so in love. They're just, they want to be together like forever. They want to get married, and anyway, they separate, and years down the line, they realize something that makes them unite again. And Annie has to now, being an adult, she's a woman now, and he's a grown man living in New York City, and she's back in the farmland where they are both from. I forgot what state she's from, but she works on the farm. Her father was a farmer. She has to travel to New York City to find out and clear up some things that brought her to New York City. And lo and behold, they are back together again, seeing each other for the first time as adults. It is really good. It is really sweet. It is heartwarming. It is touching. There is a lot going on in the story. They had so much chemistry, and it was just really enjoyable to watch. Even if you haven't watched a Hallmark movie, I think if you like a nice romance story, that's a good one that totally goes well with this book, they go hand in hand. Like, they're not exactly the same story, but they're very similar. So if you read The One for Me, go ahead and watch Autumn Dreams, or watch Autumn Dreams and then go ahead and read The One for Me, because if you liked one, you're definitely gonna like the other. So that pretty much wraps up this episode of Lynette Looks. I hope to see you again real soon, and I hope you come back real soon. Comment below if you have a nice romance story that you recommend. I would love to hear from you. Subscribe to my channel because it really does help me continue making more videos. So on that note, guys, I'll see you on the next one.